it's not just what you have, it's where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my cash?
You being in the know and you being out in front of the trends, do you mind if I ask what you're investing in this year?
It's a great question.
And what's your investment plan? Yeah.
Yeah, big epiphany that I had was I was in planning for 2022. I looked at my business plan. I looked at my investment strategy. And then there's a coach that I have that did a quick video, and he literally did a 30-minute video and everything was on one page. And I looked at everything. I looked at what I had and I'm like, yeah, I need to simplify. So in the beginning of the first week of the year, I just basically took the week off and just focus everything on simplification. So not just only in my business, but from an investment strategy. So from a simplification standpoint, I literally just put a quadrant down, and I'll share a page. I just drew this up. So you'll see CMCS. So, and I wrote those down, and essentially what it is, and just from a strategic point of allocating things, is this would be cash, this will be metals, cash flow investments is over here. And then the S is more for speculative stuff. And when I talk about speculation, it's more of from the definition that you're positioning capital to take advantage of this politically distorted situations, which I'll share some examples of. So if you look at the first part is cash, I believe right now that you should have at least a year's worth, 12 months of cash on hand. And then the second thing becomes, and this will be a theme throughout this, is it's not only where your portfolio is allocated at, or where your money's at, but who it's with. It's going to be very, very important. So where do you position cash? So there's a couple of things that you could do. You could have cash on hand, which I would highly recommend. Obviously, put that in a safe, secure location. Again, with the threat of a wild card.
Like the mattress.
What if there's a bank holiday, as they call it, right? Talking about marketing, transitory bank holiday. What if there's a bank holiday and you cannot get your money? Now, folks would say, MC, again, that's a little bit out there. Folks, there's videos of people standing outside of banks in Lebanon and in Turkey throwing bricks at it. At that stage, the money's gone. Throwing that brick is only making the person feel better. At that stage, there's nothing you can do. So have some cash on hand. I, of course, love the infinite banking strategy. We position capital in overfunded life insurance contracts with mutual companies. They've been around since the mid 1800s. They've weathered all of the storms. They've paid dividends, which means they've been profitable since the mid 1800s. And they are very good stewards of capital, and I can access the capital pretty quickly if I need to, with usually 48 to 72 hours. So that's where I put the majority of it. I have some cash on hand. I have the majority of my cash in mutual insurance companies, which I implement and execute the infinite banking strategy. And then also, if you need a place to get some sort of a yield, there are some opportunities with stable coins too. You can earn 8 to 9% by just buying a coin like the USDC, which you can then basically stake on an exchange and earn a nice yield. So you have that on hand too. It's different places. Again, risk management. You look at wild cards. What could happen? Could something happen in the crypto market? Yes. So be mindful then of how much stable coins you have. Be mindful of where large sums of capital are with regards to banks. Have some cash on hand for an emergency. So that's the cash strategy. Then on the other side of it is the metals. So gold and silver, that's insurance. It's an insurance play. It always has been. I always looked at that as insurance. It is anti-fiat, meaning it is insurance against the fiat currencies. And then cash flow. Cash flow is critical, even in times of uncertainty. And of course, from an inflationary aspect, what asset class has produced incredible, not only cash flow, but capital appreciation? Real estate. So I still believe real estate is a great play. I still believe that there's just a great opportunity for folks in specific markets around the country, and in different niches too, right? The short-term rental stuff is just incredible. So I see a lot of opportunity there. I see a lot of opportunity still in multifamily in certain markets, because people need a place to live still, and will always do. And then the fourth part is the speculative play, the growth portion of your strategy. And this is where you capitalize on politically distorted situations. So this is where I would put crypto and Bitcoin specific, taking advantage of a politically distorted situation, regardless of what country you're in. Bitcoin is an anti-fiat. There's a limited supply of it. So it's a hedge against the currency that you're operating in your country failing. So that positions you on the right side of that. Other plays that you could take a look at as, boy, are we going to have a shakeup in the energy markets? So would it make sense to, if you are an investor, to look at certain energy options right there? There are some folks on our network, I've not personally done this, but I'm looking at this, that have looked at, for example, a uranium play, because a lot of the oil and natural gas supply has been shocked. So how do you provide electricity to the rest of the world, or energy, right? Well, uranium is only approximately 10% of it. Huge upside potential there. It's funny that because most folks know this already. And again, it's a politically distorted position. You're not going to provide energy to the entire world on solar or wind. Something else is going to plug into that. So would it be nuclear? Would it be uranium? A lot of folks seems to think so. So it's just interesting from a politically distorted position to capitalize on it as an investor. The other thing is agriculture. Do you think agriculture is going to, there's going to be a demand for food, for agricultural products? There's shortages everywhere. There's going to be a huge demand. So there's different ways to position yourself in that too. You can directly invest in farmland, which a lot of people that I know have done. Also a real estate play. You can buy or invest in fertilizer companies. If you don't have fertilizer, folks, you don't have agriculture products. So it's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? So those are some things to think of. And I know I'm just throwing out some ideas personally on this, on the S. For me, I look at the anti-fiat if there is a financial or a currency or a banking crisis. So, Bitcoin is the anti-fiat in that category for me, but other folks might be interested in different other speculative plays, whether it be energy, whether it be agriculture, even carbon credits, right? I'm doing my research on that, still doing a lot of studying and just getting up to speed of what it is. Because a lot of folks have told me, MC, you should be aware of this. So I want to be at least knowledgeable and get up to speed as an investor of what it is and how it will affect capital flows, because money is always flowing from one asset class to another. So that's kind of the four. Do I expect all of them to do well in any environment? No, I don't. I expect at least one of them to go down where other three go up. So let's just quickly throw out two scenarios. In inflation, in a more, I wouldn't say hyperinflationary, but super inflationary event. Yeah, cash is obviously going to need to be moved into different areas. Your gold and your silver will do well. Your real estate will do well. And obviously then your Bitcoin will do well, right? Your speculative play as it will, or your growth part of your portfolio. But what if in a deflationary event? What if a wild card event happens? Well, markets crash. What would that look like? Well, obviously the growth part will be impacted, maybe slightly your cash flow portfolio too, depending on how you set it up. Your metals will be there, but you'll have cash to then go in and capitalize and buy other positions up. So that's one way, that I'm looking at it. I'm trying to simplify it and just have it all on one page. So that's my theme for this month and for this year is to keep things as simple as possible.
No, I love that. KISS, keep it simple, silly. I subscribe to that as well. And just looking at that little chart there, and I love that. It's given me flashbacks to the early Kiyosaki days with Cashflow Quadrant, which was one of my initial business books that I read that really was kind of give me some of those light bulb moments. I know that that's one that you've got in your library as well. You've touched on a couple things there as far as the inflation hedges. Love the silver, love the gold, love the crypto as well. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Obviously, it's been pretty dang volatile. I haven't checked it today, but has taken a big time downswing. I've continued to buy it. So we'll drop a link below. We did a video on dollar cost averaging that Matthew did sometime last year. I'm a big subscriber to that. What are your thoughts on that for someone that's either involved in it now or looking to get their maybe stick their toe in the water while the price is down? Any advice either way?
Yeah, I think the fundamentals have only gotten stronger. If you look at what's going on within crypto and specifically Bitcoin, and as an anti-fiat, if the rest of the world is just inflating the currency supply, Bitcoin is a limited supply, obviously. So the use cases have just increased. You had corporations allocate large amounts of capital to it after private investors did. Now you're having countries. So I could just see the adoption increasing. And there's more countries actually now looking at making Bitcoin legal tender, just as El Salvador did. So the fundamentals, and if you look at the Bitcoin, and not to get too technical, but if you look at the hash rate, it's actually increased, which is very, very good. So the fundamentals are solid. It's a very volatile asset class. So big pullbacks. If you're new to this and you cannot stomach something dropping 60% on you, it's probably not your asset class. It has had a pullback from 67K back down to 40, almost 39. I don't know where it is now. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to 100 and falls down to 30 again, in the next couple of years. Would not surprise me at all. Very volatile. The more big institutional players that come into the space, the less volatile it would be. It's still very new. When folks think, oh, it's been around for a long time. No, you're still early. So number one, I would say, never invest in anything you don't understand. So if you're new with Bitcoin, what I did, somebody said way back to me, he said, MC, just buy 500 bucks of it, set up a wallet, play around with it, learn it, do your research, figure it out. And that's what I did. And then I deep dive into it because and I spent about, almost a year just immersing myself in it to understand what it is before I put money into that. So never invest in something or allocate capital into something that you don't understand. And then the other thing that I would say from a Bitcoin standpoint, the fundamentals are solid, the adoption is there, and it's a great anti-fiat strategy, in an inflationary environment and in a global economy where we see countries devaluing their currencies at record rates.
MC, we're going to go ahead and draw to a close. If you don't mind, we're going to continue to bring you back here on the channel periodically and share your wealth of knowledge. Obviously, times are going to continue to change, and we'd love to get your input and have you weigh in on some of this. So guys watching from home, smash that thumbs up button below. If you love this content, you want us to continue to bring people like MC on the channel. If you're not a subscriber already, go ahead and ding that subscribe button and that bell notification. That's going to give you the heads up as we bring more great content on the VIP Financial Education YouTube channel, where we talk about all things credit, capital, and cash flow. Until next time, take care and make it a great day.